What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Friday Night Smackdown review. A lot to talk about this show tonight. This is the go-home show before FastLane this Sunday. A lot going on. Honestly, it's not really a lot going on in that show. Was like, what, 4, 5 matches on that card? So it really may not be a lot to talk about this Sunday. So it is like the final show before WrestleMania, or the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, I should say. So there's a lot to talk about with the WWE Network being dead now at this point, and now going to Peacock, which I think I'm going to have to transfer over that. I think Fastlane is still available on the network for the time being, but I think the network is officially dead after 7 years. It was like died about 2 years ago, so it's been here since what, 2014 all the way. Yeah, it's 7 years basically. So yeah, no more WWE Network and whatnot, and it's off the Peacock now. But with some matches to talk about on Fastlane, we do kick off the show with the SmackDown Women's title on the line. Sasha versus Nia Jax. Sasha was in the back arguing with Bianca about Reginald, which they keep bringing him up more and more. It's almost like he's become a focal point of this build, which the build has not really been good with both of these two leading into WrestleMania and whatnot. But Sasha did go against Nia Jax, so not much to say about this match. Bianca was out there watching as Shayna Baszler got involved. Ended up trying to kick Sasha, but ended up kicking Nia Jax accidentally, and Sasha ended up rolling up Nia for the win, which, by the way, they're still facing for the tag team titles this Sunday too. I don't even know why they really even have both Sasha and Bianca doing that again. For that, really seeing the point out, I don't really think they're gonna win the titles in general. So didn't I already thought it was weird enough they had what Tamina pin Bianca last week. That was already weird enough. So kind of crazy right there when you think about it. But yeah, like I said, the build has not really been good. Jackson Baszler, I don't even know who they have facing for them for the tag team titles at this point, other than these two, since NXT wanted to make their own belts and not do the match with, against Gonzalez and Dakota Kai and whatnot. And like I said, they create their own titles. I guess they just got the women's champion. Well, the women's tag champs is kind of floating around, if you ask me. So there you go. Next, Edge was being interviewed as he was talking about he's going to wrestle on SmackDown tonight. He hasn't wrestled on SmackDown and over a decade at this point. Basically, talk about his best moments was cashing in the Money in the Bank on the Undertaker to become the World Heavyweight Champion, and his worst, moment was his retirement. Basically, they went through a lot of highlight packet videos of Edge's moments on SmackDown. Like he said, from cashing in on Taker to retirement to win the tag titles with Hogan back then, which, I might as well bring this up, which they said, the host to WrestleMania. Let me say something about this, because I see it's been mostly a negative outcome of having Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil host WrestleMania. I know some say they should have put Billy Kay in there because everybody says Billy Kay is hilarious. I'm 50-50 on Billy Kay, but some would say this stuff with Hogan is almost like a PR stunt to just say, like, hey, I hang around black people, okay? Yeah, I could go and sit and say fuck Hulk Hogan as many times as possible. You've heard me say it a lot, okay? Because nobody really fucks with this guy in general, and to what I've seen today, and a lot of backlash is why Titus O'Neil even has to do this with him and whatnot. Now, some people believe Hogan won't really be booed at WrestleMania because A, it is Tampa, it is his hometown. Obviously, like I said, it's a PR business decision and whatnot. So I just look at it like, come on, we know the company is gonna bring Hogan in one way or another, and nobody still really messes with him. I said this a few months ago when they were doing the little Raw reunion, or what was it called, the Legends Night they had going on, and it's pretty funny. But I'm sure, like I said, a lot of people say this company does not really learn from keep bringing him back or trying to involve him. Didn't they have him host WrestleMania like a couple years ago? Anyways, WrestleMania 35 and whatnot, and we kind of saw somewhat of the reaction behind that too. So basically, it's just a lot of negative. Like I said a few months ago at the Raw one, was that what did he say, that a lot of the talent was cold to him, and he kind of thought that because they thought, well, he thought, he was going to take their spot. I guess he thought that the talent thought, hey, he's coming in to take our spot and everything. Nah, it's just the reason people don't really fuck with Hulk Hogan and the talent in the back, the younger talents, because it's because of the racist shit. That's the thing. And yeah, I can go into Hogan on other stuff from being an egomaniac or a politician and whatnot when it comes to wrestling, and I'm sure there's reasons why people won't mess with him for that, but most of it is just the racist stuff, okay? And I'm sure some people are gonna go on and say, well, he did apologize, even though he just kind of saying, "Oh, be careful where you're being recorded." He didn't wasn't really much of an apology, so I'm not gonna go into that. You just need to look up the information yourself about it. So I just think it's the irony of him having to you know, host the show with Titus O'Neil and whatnot. Because who was it last year? Gronk that hosted it. But given that they said Hogan and Titus O'Neil, a lot of people just looked at it as either a giant troll job or just mostly negative reaction and whatnot. Okay, so like I said, the stuff is never really gonna go away, and people just don't really fuck with Hogan. That's just kind of the point of it. No matter how you really feel about it, like, hey man, that's on him. Like I said, I could go to the usual fuck Hulk Hogan rant, but I just think it's funny that they really did make him like one of the hosts of Mania, and obviously that has backfired. But hey, that's Mania for you folks. I don't know. But next we went to Seth Rollins and his very flaming blue jacket that was kind of like, his jacket actually looked pretty cool. I will say that. Whatever suit he's got coming out there every week, dresses a 70s pimp. Basically he came out, uh respected the locker room and everything, but Cesaro took the disrespect too far when he wanted to come against me and basically said he tried to embarrass me and everything, and I had to get payback on him. Basically, they played the footage of Seth taking him out last week, and basically told Cesaro that you swung me 23 times and you won't embarrass me again. Because I am basically one of the biggest stars and you're one of the biggest failures in WWE. I main event at WrestleMania, and basically Nakamura came out. He told Seth to shut up, and then ended up hitting him with a Kinshasa to the face, basically making the match for this Sunday. So get ready to see Nakamura and Seth. They also announced with Eric Bischoff going to the Hall of Fame, which I can't say I'm that surprised that they put him right now. It's just I've seen Eric Bischoff keep showing up on AEW almost every other month or two, like 3, 4 times. I'm almost surprised he hasn't even gotten a job there. And I look at Eric Bischoff, as long as he's been around, I can understand, given that yes, WCW did beat the WWE 83 weeks and whatnot, and you can go from Eric Bischoff being the Raw general manager and, NWO and all that stuff. And, he was one of the reasons and one of the big factors into the Monday Night Wars back then when it was, WWF Raw and WCW Nitro, which is kind of crazy because in the next couple of days, we now come up on the 20th anniversary of the last episode of WCW Nitro and whatnot, which is kind of crazy. I remember that day very, very well. I will say that. I just remember flipping channels back between Raw and freaking Nitro at the time. Just switching between both shows when Nitro was on its last episode. I think it had to be like what, 7 at the time when that was going on, maybe 8 if I remember. So yeah, it's been that long since WCW Nitro was WCW went out of business. Okay, but yeah, Bischoff going in the Hall of Fame. That's good. Not bad at all. I just actually thought he'd just be on AEW, given that he's been in and out. And the last time he kind of had a job at WWE that didn't really last long, and apparently he didn't memorize a lot of guys' names, so that didn't really go on long for him. But he's going in the Hall of Fame though, so good for Eric Bischoff though. So that's not a bad one. Street Profits went against Rey Mysterio and Dominic. The Dirty Dogs were on commentary. Match was okay. Mysterio and them got the win, getting the roll up onto Dawkins and whatnot. Otis and Chad Gable came out talking about the Mysterios and whatnot, which I know Otis and I guess they turned around and then Ray and them took him out. Basically, we got Ray and Dominic versus the Alpha Academy, they're called now, which they end up getting the win with the Chaos Theory German suplex by Gable, and then Otis with a splash. Some way this team is actually kind of working. Not a bad tag match though, but this team is somewhat it's somewhat working in a way. I don't know how, but this Otis heel turn may be able to get pulled off one way or another with Gable. So we'll see what goes on with that. Sami Zayn was in the back with his documentary crew. Kevin Owens showed up then. Sami says, "Listen, man, I want you to be my documentary, okay? Listen, I've had the interaction with Logan Paul on Twitter, which they kept talking about and everything for a minute. I don't think he's gonna show. Is he preparing for like a fight with Floyd Mayweather, or is that his brother? I'm not really sure, but Owen said, "Calm down," and Sammy talked about his conspiracy theories, and Owen says he would be out there, which basically we'll get into that in a second. But Daniel Bryan came out next, basically to cut a promo talking about Edge returning to the ring in 10 years on SmackDown, and talked about the enforcer going on when he has his match against Roman this Sunday, and basically talked about Jay will guarantee that Bryan won't make it to WrestleMania. But, talk about how Edge thinks if, he would face either Roman or Bryan at WrestleMania then. Basically say he's going to make Roman Reigns tap out. Reigns and Heyman came out, basically laughing off. And, Roman says, "I'd rather die than tap out to you, okay? So you ain't going to tap me out." And there's basically a bigger chance of, shooting lightning out your ass than making me tap out, okay? But Bryan said that dying is a bit of a strong word, but you're delusional and whatnot. People, there's a lot of guys that say they're unbeatable until they get beat. And he says he's going to break Roman of his beliefs, everything he is, and his whole delusions that, Roman won't die and whatnot. But Bryan says, "I'm going to break you, okay? And you're going to wish that you were dead," basically, after that. So a good promo from Roman and Bryan, for their match this Sunday. Given that they faced on FastLane like 5-6 years ago or whatnot, trying to get to WrestleMania, the main event. Now they're kind of in the same situation, except one of them is the champion right now. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that moving into Fastlane and everything. So it's crazy. Like I said, they main evented not that long ago. Next, we get the most least anticipated match in SmackDown history, which I found it funny that the video package buried both of these guys. That one will win, but sure as hell one of these two will lose. So it's a heel versus heel match. Kevin Owens was on commentary. Corbin won. It wasn't much to say from it, but I found the video package funny when it says the least anticipated match in SmackDown history. Next thing you know, Owens was talking about, the match. Sammy walked up to him and complained about the conspiracy. Sammy walked away, but then next thing you know, Sammy kicked Kevin Owens in the head with a luva kick and basically says, "You're the problem. You don't see the truth. You don't see the truth." So obviously, we're getting another Owens and Sammy match coming up then, most likely by Fastlane and Mania. And then basically after that, we got I guess a split screen interview between Apollo Crews and Big E. Big E, kind of sound serious and funny at the same time. It's vengeance now, okay? It's gonna be 2 days. You're gonna enjoy little normal functions with your limbs, cause enjoy this March air. Just enjoy it right now, cause your future is dark and bleak. And that I'm going to retain the Intercontinental Championship. And basically, you're going to basically lose everything, okay? But Apollo says you need to think twice before, speaking to Nigerian royalty. Of course, Cruz is doing his accent. I know a lot of people don't really dig his accent, but he talked about his family and everything. And that you fill your mouth with razors and you spit blood. And that he's going to crack Big E's face this Sunday. And that he's a Nigerian warrior and whatnot. And leave his mangled body on the ground as he holds up the Intercontinental title. Big E basically said, "We gotta wait till Sunday." He got in a golf cart, drove across somewhere in the field in the back, looking for him. He pulled up on him in the cart as Cruz was looking for him himself. They brawled for a second until security got involved, and Cruz drove away with the golf cart. Okay, so very good promo from Big E. It's like he's trying to laugh, and I like this promo last week also. Other than just him coming out with the whole brace and everything, he didn't need to do that. But this was still a pretty good promo and whatnot. Like I said, Cruz isn't that bad also. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't dig his Nigerian accent. And they feel like it comes just very fake and out of nowhere. But this was still a good promo, though. I think these two are going to have a really good match this Sunday. But I see this whole match leading into WrestleMania, too. So I don't think this will be over by a long shot. Bianca Belair winning against Shayna Baszler. Not much of a match. Basically, Natalya and Tamina, man, they are really pushing Tamina and Natalya all of a sudden. Don't know what's going on with that, but I guess they protected both women by not having them lose here. It's crazy that both of these two faced each other on NXT not that long ago, and I think Baszler broke Bianca's undefeated streak also when basically Baszler was on a roll at the time. But in the main event though, we got Edge versus J Uso to be the guest enforcer for the Universal title this Sunday. Good match, I should say. Not bad. Edge can still go. Well, it's not like he can't go anyways, but it was nice to see him wrestle on SmackDown, given that we haven't seen him wrestle in 10 years. I know he got hit with the splash and whatnot, but Edge ended up dodging Uso super kick, basically going for the shoulder, knocking him down, hit him with a spear, and then right after that, and then he looked at Bryan, but next thing you know, Roman Reigns speared him. He looked at Bryan and himself. Jey Uso attacked Bryan from behind, threw him in the ring, and he got hit with a spear as Roman Reigns just held the title over him after that. Obviously, in this special enforcer, two things can happen. Either A, Bryan will lose and we'll just get Roman versus Edge at WrestleMania, or I still think it may be a triple threat match by WrestleMania between Edge, Bryan, and Roman Reigns. So that's what I would see happening on FastLane, the triple threat part, but we'll see about that. Like I said, it's not much I can say about this card. It looks like it's not a lot going on, especially from the Monday Night Raw side of FastLane. So it's just not a lot, okay? And I will say one thing about WrestleMania before I go with only holding about 25,000 fans. I think that's the final number. They want to do 45,000, but I think COVID restrictions have stopped them. I just said, like I said before, as long as everybody stays safe and they know what they're doing out there, then maybe this can go good. It worked for the Super Bowl. It could possibly work here. Hopefully. Just make sure everybody follows the rules, though. If we're only letting 25,000, I don't know if it's going to be cardboard cut out of that. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this works, though. It would actually bring fans back into WrestleMania, okay? So we'll see what happens with that. So other than that, I will be back Sunday for a FastLane review. Maybe I'm going to check out the NWA show also, but I will be back this Sunday for the review of FastLane. So other than that, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace out. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace.